Come unwind with the Healing Center, a place where we feel thrilled to heal.
Hey guys, it is Wednesday Wellness, and today we're talking about reading the room. What does that mean to y'all? Read the room. To me, reading the room means be aware of your surroundings. Look at what's happening around you. Feel what you feel in the moment. Be in the moment. That's what reading the room means to me. And I'm going to show you some pictures. So you guys tell me what you read in these pictures. Let's get into it. So the first room has a lot of clutter. Clothes are on the floor. Drawers are open. Things are hanging out of the drawers. Backpack is hanging on the dresser. We got teddy bears on the bunk bed. We got children's books on the floor, toys on the floor. We can't even see where the door is at. I see the library in the back, but there's still books on the floor. So, what does this room say to you? What does it speak to you? To me, this room speaks it sounds like overwhelming. It sounds like there's too much going on. It sounds like it's so much that's happening that you just forget about the mess that's in front of you. So you just leave it there and then the mess just piles up. That's what this room looks like. It looks like stress to me. That's what this room looks like. Overwhelming and stressful. The next room has a beautiful window with sun beaming out of the window. It's got a nice warm vibe, and this makes me feel calm. It makes me feel at peace. It makes me feel warm. It's like, it feels like Sunday. That's what this room feels like to me. A restful day with the sun beaming through the window. You're just chilling on the couch, reading. It's just an awesome, restful, peaceful, calming day. Now, this room is a room that me personally, I try to avoid. Okay. This room is a rec room. What do people do in a rec room? Okay, let's read the words that are on this picture. Okay. Rage room. Break stuff. Smash. That's what it says. And behind all the broken TVs and broken glass, what does it have? What is that sign right there with the skull and the X at the bottom? Usually they use that sign for caution, for toxic products. They use that sign for that. And this room makes me feel like I'm mad. It makes me feel angry. Had a terrible day. That's what it makes me feel like. Me after a terrible, overwhelming, stressful day. And this room is next to the room with a bunch of toys and books on the floor, okay? This is the room that is tempting, but at the same time, it's like I have to calm down. I have to remember the sun beaming through the window, chilling on the couch on a Sunday, just resting, feeling calm, feeling great about life. I have to remember that before I go to this room right here, the angry room, the rage room, the seeing red room, the blacking out room. And this room, let's take it up a notch. This room is very bright. Got the bright blue in the back, the bright curtains, the sun beaming, the beautiful pink covers and peach sheets, peach blanket, and pillows. I like rooms like this. This room makes me feel joy, makes me feel happy. It's like when the starting credits are coming on a movie and you're just happy. You wake up excited to start your day. And that's what this room makes me feel. It makes me feel joy. Here's the last room. This room, the drapes are dark. The curtains are dark. You barely see the sun beaming in, like it's barely coming in there. I think the cover's blue, but the sunlight makes it look a little gray, but the drapes make it look like it's blue. Yeah, this room makes me feel depressed. It's kind of scary to me because, ooh, that's dark. That's too dark for me. We're gonna have to let in some sunlight. That sunlight right there is not enough. It reminds me of when the light bill wasn't being paid and the lights got turned off. And you can tell it's getting close to nighttime and it starts looking just like this in the house before we light the candles. So this room makes me feel scared, depressed. It makes me feel sad. So yeah, that's what this room makes me feel. That's what I read in this room. Now let's go to a commercial break.
At the tone, please record your message.
Hi, this is Trish from Vibetalkfacingthelion podcast, and here's a reminder that we do have a direct connect, toll free. We do take call-ins before, during, and after the podcast. And that direct connect is 1-888-721-9260.
Facing the lion.
And we're back. So, all those rooms that I showed you guys, we all have different readings of those rooms. But those were my readings of the room. If I walked into those rooms, I can tell what's been going on. I can tell the vibe, the feeling, the realness of the room. And sometimes we don't know how to read the room. We feel like we haven't experienced the room, so you don't know what's happening in the room. You can't tell what's in front of you. And I am the kind of person that feels the environment. I walk into a room and I can tell off rip what's happening. And that defines how I react, how I act, how I portray myself when I walk into a room. If everybody's happy, I walk in there, I'm like, oh, happy vibe. Yeah, yeah. Walk in there, people are arguing. You know how when people are arguing and somebody walks into the room, it gets quiet? That's my cue to leave. That's my cue to leave. Because it's not my business. I turn around and walk away. Maybe I'll come back and they settled it by then. So yeah. And that has happened to me before. People are arguing. I walk into the room, it gets quiet. They staring at me. And I'm like, okay. So I slowly back out, turn around, put that car in reverse, and leave. That's what I do. And later on, right? The people that I'm supposed to be meeting up with, they're arguing. One of them meets up with me later on, and they're like, yeah, I'm sorry about what happened today. and they discuss what the room reading was. They tell me, oh, we got into a little disagreement, and I wasn't feeling like talking to you at that moment. I wasn't in the right time. And the thing is, in my brain, I'm like, you don't have to tell me that because I've been angry before. I've been mad, and then I had to go on about my day and talk to the people that I need to talk to during that day. My mood wasn't myself. I wasn't the best person that I could be. I'm like, they don't have to explain it to me because I know how that feels. I understand. So I tell them, I get it. I understand. It's very genuine that people they explain to you like, oh, you saw me at a bad time. I'm sorry. I appreciate stuff like that. You saw me at a bad time, and I appreciate that you understood that. I appreciate people that find the time to explain themselves and explain why. Because it shows that they care about my feelings. And I always explain myself to people, make sure they understand. Because, like I said, some people cannot read the room. Have you been in a situation where you wish that the people around you could read the room? They can understand. They can look at you and be like, I wish they understand how I'm feeling right now. And then they wouldn't say these things. They wouldn't come over here and have this conversation with me because they can tell by my face, my body language, that I don't want to talk about it right now. That I'm not in the mood. Or I want to enjoy my peace before you guys come in here and tell me about the drama of the week. Okay? Have you ever wished that people read the room like that? They read you just like that. And I understand the great feeling of validation when people understand you, they understand the room, and they act on the understanding, because I love when people do that for me. I understand. I get it. I feel that. But isn't it funny that the room, right, depends on the person? The mood depends on the person. So, knowing yourself, knowing how you are feeling gives you the ability, the authority to direct how you want the room, the mood to be. Just like if you're feeling calm, you're feeling great today, you're feeling like that sun beaming through the window, and all of a sudden Jessica just comes in. She's like, "Hey girl, let me tell you what happened. Listen, I'm so upset today. Me and Bobby got into another argument. Jessica and Bobby always argue. They're in a toxic relationship. They're always in the rage room, okay? You're over here trying to vibe with the sun coming through the window. Jessica comes from the rage room. She's like, I'm sick of Bobby. Like, I'm tired of this. I'm leaving him. They always say they want to leave each other, but they never leave. They always say it. And you're like, I don't want to be a bad friend to Jessica, but I'm trying to have peace right now. I'm trying to relax. But Jessica is your best friend. You don't want to be mean and rude, so you sit there while she's talking to you about her drama. And then you realize the room around you is starting to shift. It's starting to change. You're like, where's the sun? The sun is dimming. You see that the window has the drapes coming. You see the dark drapes from the other room. It's coming on the window. They're like, oh, it's changing. I see it's changing. Oh my goodness. How do I stop it from transforming? I was enjoying this calm room. Why is it shifting? Why is it changing? And the thing is, you have the ability to say, no, Jessica, not right now. I'm having a peaceful moment. I'm relaxing. We could talk about it later. Okay? You have the ability to do that. And that's why it's important to understand your room, understand yourself, understand your mind, and be aware of if your mood is changing. Sometimes they catch us by surprise. The mood catches us by surprise. We're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that to happen, and the room shifts randomly, and you cannot control the room. You're like, oh, this has happened. The room has shifted. What can I do now? How do I make it easy for me? How do I make it tolerable? That's how it is when we get bad news, right? We're having a great time in that warm room again. We woke up in the room of joy. We woke up feeling great, and then we get bad news. And that joy room is shifting to that dark room with the drapes. And sometimes it's hard to see our way out of a dark room like that. We're wondering, will I see the sunlight again? When will this end? Will I ever get better from this situation? And the amazing thing about our minds is if we think of happiness, our mood changes so fast. If we think of the joyful times, the happy times, we think of the times where we laughed, we had so much fun, the room, the mood starts to change into that joy room, into that warm room. And the thing is, it's okay to feel like that dark room. It's okay to feel like that rage room. It's okay because those are emotions. Those are normal feelings. But we have the ability to shift that room. And that's only if you are ready. Let's move on to a commercial break. We'll be right back. We're back. And I just thought about the room, the podcast that we had about spring cleaning. It was a podcast about spring cleaning, cleaning your mindset. I actually drew a picture. I'm gonna put it up here so you guys can see. I drew a picture about clearing my mind, spring cleaning my mind, and I enjoyed doing that because I got to decorate my room. I always have had the satisfaction of decorating things. I love making my own designs, my own wallpapers, my own like custom made stuff. Like I do arts and crafts. I enjoy learning how to sew and learning how to crochet. Those are things that I enjoy because I have control in decorating and seeing how it turns out. And sometimes it doesn't turn out like how I want it to. But nevertheless, it was me and I created it. And if it didn't turn out the way I wanted, I can change it into something else. So I say that to say it's important to know yourself because you can decorate your own room. You can change your mind, program your mind into thinking a way that is better for you. And I never realized how important that was until I started my self-love journey because the way my room was, it was that dark room. That dark room. And it was trying to shift into the joy, but it only shifted into the joy when somebody else was there. And the thing that you realize about those pictures is nobody's in the picture. Nobody else is in the picture. It's from the view. It's like you're looking at it yourself. It's like you're standing in front of the room and you're looking at it. That's how the picture is. So mine's didn't shift into the joy until other people were there. And it's okay for other people to bring you joy, but I just wanted to know how I can stand on my own, how I can walk into that room and decorate it into the most brightest colors, feel the most happiest day, feel the most joy on my own without people, other people. I just wanted to feel that by myself. And so I learned to access and discover what makes me happy. And that's how I learned to channel the program, that joy, that calmness, that peace when I'm feeling like that dark room. Because there are days I do feel like that dark room. There are days. And there are days I do need others to bring me that joy. But there are more days where I learn to stand on my own. And I am very proud. I thank God for that. I'm proud that I'm able to do that on my own. What about you? Can you guys relate to that? We're going to go to another commercial break. And then afterwards, we're going to turn it over to Trisha's Treasures. We'll be right back.
Come unwind with the Healing Center, a place where we feel thrilled to heal.
Okay, let's go to Trisha's Treasures.
Hi, this is Trisha's Treasures. Affiliated with Vibetalkfacingthelion podcast.
I remember when I was in home and consumer science class. That's the class where you learn to crochet, you learn to decorate your own room, you learn to sign checks, you learn how to budget, you learn how to make a resume, fill out an application. Basically, you learn how to manage your life without other people supporting you. Basically, you learn how to live by yourself in family and consumer science. So, in that class, we had an assignment. It was to take a shoebox, and create your own room. I low-key want to try that again because I was excited to do that. I was so happy and I was proud of myself. So, this is me. I like the color turquoise. Okay, turquoise, green, and black. That was my theme for that room. So, the bed, right? I use a cardboard box. I shaped it into the bed frame. And I put the green turquoise as a blanket, as a sheet, and I like sewed it onto the box. I sewed it onto the cardboard piece. And I used some cotton and I sewed a mini pillowcase, and I stuffed the cotton into the black and turquoise pillowcase so it can look nice. I wish I had that picture, guys. I wish I had it. And for the walls, I was like, okay, everything can't be turquoise, green, and black. I have to like paint the walls into something. So I painted the walls blue. And then I drew a little painting on the side of the wall. I forgot what it was, but all I knew was the walls and the whole room, I was shocked when it was finished. And when I looked at that room, I was like, this room is so me. Like, if I had this room, I would never leave. Like, I would love this room so much. I literally had a dresser. I had a place where I could play my music. Like, oh my goodness. I loved doing that. And just thinking about that, it just makes me wonder, what will my room look like now if I did the same thing again? If I had to decorate my room, what would my room look like now? I think my room would have more pink, because back then I was a tomboy. Okay, guys. I have 10 brothers, so you must understand. And I was like the first girl. So I hung around them longer than my little sisters did. So that's why I'm like, I was tomboyish back then. So, and my mom also was. So, yeah. And now I think my room will have more pink, more yellow, a lighter green, but I would still have some turquoise in there, just a lighter version, lighter. And I would have a section where I could sit at the window, a desk at the window, I think, and I'll have drawing equipment on there. I'll have my art kit on there. And on the side where the closet is, I'll have a library, because I love to read. I have a library and my guitar right there. I'll have like a keyboard, some headphones, a little mini studio that's in the closet. And the drawers will have my clothes. Because you're like wondering, where is she going to put her clothes if her studio in her closet? I'm going to put them in my drawers, guys. My white dresser. Okay. So that's how my room would look. I wonder how your room would look. You can comment below what your room would look like. You can draw what your room would look like. And you can say what your room is saying. You can put the reading of your room, right? What your room is speaking. Okay. So, the room that I described, I think my room is speaking peace. My room is speaking creativity and freedom. That's what my room was speaking. So what is your room speaking? So this is Treasures, and thank you for listening to Wednesday Wellness.
Hi, this is Trisha's Treasures. Affiliated with Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Lastly, in closing, what is the reading of your room? Are you aware of what it is saying to you? What you're thinking about? Do you know who you are? Have you discovered who you are? Have you wondered about who you want to be? Where you want to be? How you want to feel most days than others? And have you worked to the point of getting to where you want to be? Thank you for listening. This is Wednesday Wellness, and this is Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Because I don't want you just to make a resolution. I want you to think about.
I was really about to lose it, then I got the vibe with it. I really took my time with it. I really love the ride with it. For real, really got the vibe with it. I took my time with it. I really love the ride with it, yeah. You can finally see a better you when you get the vibe with it, yeah. When